Welcome. My name's Chris Davis. I'm a ketogenic carnivore nutrition coach, and today I just wanted to give you my 2 cents on something I think that over the last, I don't know, 50, 60 years we've been lied to about. And since I've lived in Idaho, I've seen more and more. And so I wanted to give you a perspective on cattle that I think most people don't see, right? Because what images do they push to us? The feedlots, right? The cattle there in cramped spaces. And so I want to show you guys what I see, okay, living here in beautiful Idaho. So, first thing you have to understand is Idaho is an open range state. What does that mean? Well, it means we have what are called open range laws. And so as you can see right here, the Idaho Code, right, defines open range as all unenclosed lands outside of cities, villages, and herd districts upon which cattle, by custom license or lease or permit, are grazed or permitted to roam. So this is one of the signs that I run by every day, and it just says watch for stock. And you really do have to watch for stock. I actually saw a gal, don't know how she missed it, but she hit a black cow standing under a street light. Like, you got to just be in your own little world at that point. But in Idaho, you have to watch out for those kinds of things. So open range, what does that really do? Well, it reverses who needs to have the fence. So for example, my husband and I live out here in God's country. We don't have a fence. Well, it's not the cattle rancher's job to keep his animals fenced in. It's our job to keep them fenced out. And so since we don't have a fence, they come in our yard. Now, some of the states that have open range laws, you have Idaho, obviously, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, North and South Dakota. If your area is an open range area and it's not listed, let me know, because that's all I was able to find. So what does that look like? Well, here you go. Here's one example. This is like 20 minutes from my house. And the cattle just chill. They walk around, they sleep, eat, shit, piss, and just meander. And that's what they do. So you're going to come across several different signs if you come to our area anyways, right? Open range law in effect, watch for stock, cattle on the roadway. So true. They really scare the shit out of you when you're going like 50. And if, as you can see by the pictures, there ain't a whole lot of things out there, including streetlights. And then all of a sudden there's just 10 Black Angus cows in the road and you're skidding and they just look at you and last thing you want to do is go car to cow because I hate to tell you, the car's going to lose. But again, as you can see, this is just wide open spaces. Now, I always joke that the cattle, they come down from the mountain, they come in my yard, they shit on my driveway, and my miniature schnauzer rolls in it. Well, that's so true. So here's a couple of cows. You can see our Jeep, you can see our truck, and they are chilling. Well, the good thing is they brought some friends with them. And so this is what we have to deal with because, again, it's an open range area. It's our job to fence them out. And we haven't built the fence yet. So every year, this is what we get to contend with. Now, they're very slow and stupid, and it's easy. You just shoo them off, you yell and wave your hands and walk towards them and they go the other direction. But still, it's annoying because you constantly have to do it during the summer in particular. So here's a few more pictures, and this is 20 minutes in the opposite direction as the first picture. And so I'm quite literally surrounded by God's country, which I love, and I accept that there's going to be cattle roaming around. It's just part of being here. But again, they're just walking around. They're not restrained. They're not restricted. They have hundreds of thousands of acres that they can walk. And that's what they do. And then the cattle rancher goes and he collects them up. And yeah, some of them, absolutely. If they're grain finished, they go to a feedlot where they bulk them up for 3 months prior to slaughter. But again, they are free to roam. So right now it's middle of May, and so the cattle are staying down a little bit lower, but as it gets warmer, they'll start just going up the hills, and God knows where they're going to be, which is, I'm hoping that some of them have trackers. So what does that mean for me? Well, that's my main source of food. and I'm kind of the nose to tail. I try to eat everything. Right now, because we don't have a fence, we're not raising our own cattle. So the cattle is being raised at a friend's 27-acre ranch, and it's going to be a grass-fed, grass-finished cow. And so one cow is going to feed us for a year. Now, we've all heard, right? Oh, but the cow farts. We've got to stop these methane cow farts. They're destroying the environment. Seriously? Are you kidding me? Right? To me, that is some crazy ass vegan that is rich enough that they can skew the narrative and they can try to get people to believe that they shouldn't be eating cow, not because they shouldn't be eating cow, but because they just want everybody vegan. Well, newsflash, honey, we are designed to eat meat, but I digress. So this is a picture on my way home from work that this individual, for whatever reason, and I can't figure it out, he's the only one that burns his field. Okay, none of the other ranchers have I seen burning their fields, right? The cows go on it, they piss and shit all over the place, they till it, plant it, and there you go. But this individual burns the crop. Now you're telling me that's good for the environment. That's not as bad, right? Well, it's not as bad as those damn cow farts. Seriously? Okay, another example. This is a map of just the Delta flights every day in the US. Just Delta. And it's estimated that take all the airlines, there's approximately 130,000 flights in the US. And that's not as bad as the cow farts, really. Okay, again, so the US, there's estimated 178 US cargo ships that are flying the American flag, right? That's not including all the other countries and nations. That's better for the environment than the cow farts. 323 cruise ships worldwide. That's better than the cow farts. Are you kidding me? Do you see where the narrative is breaking down here? Because if you really give two shits about the environment, you would cut all of that at least in half, if not get rid of most of it, if not altogether. Right? So stop acting so self-righteous that you don't eat animals or cows because you want to save the environment. Okay? If you really did, you'd stop driving your car, you'd stop flying places, you'd stop taking your annual cruise to the Bahamas or wherever the hell you go. And so then I thought, okay, well, I have a cow that's being raised. He goes to the butcher hangs him, usually about 2-3 weeks, depends. Cuts him up, packages them, brings them to my house. Okay, well, what's happening with all the plant-based foods, right? And it's those foods that it's not like, you pluck lettuce out of the ground, you cleaned it, and you served it, right? We're talking all the shit that has nutrition labels, quote unquote nutrition labels. And it's like, well, where in the hell's that shit made? Well, they're made in factories. Okay, these images are both plant-based food factories. Does that look like that's good for the environment? Not to me. Okay, next, again, you have more plant-based factories. Not good for the environment, right? Those solar panels, right, they've been preaching to us about solar energy. Those get so hot that birds die flying over them. Like, seriously, if you care about the environment, like, come on, people. Come on, right? If you want sustainable energy, go nuclear. But again, we can't talk about that. So what I wanted to get across to people, one, is that the cattle are not being raped and tortured and all this bullshit that you hear these crazies talk about. Okay, around here, they're just chilling. They just run, eat, sleep, shit, piss, and just chill. Okay, that's what they do. And then, yeah, they become food. You do a one shot, one kill, give them a happy life and a clean death. You thank God for allowing you to have the food, and you move on. End of story. The other one is really, if you give two shits about the environment, you quit some other shit way before you get rid of the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. So, that's my 2 cents. You can agree, disagree. I don't care. If you want to debate it, absolutely. I'm always fascinated. And maybe that's part of my problem. I'm always fascinated with the vegan mindset. A 5-year-old can look at our digestive system and see that we're carnivorous. Like it doesn't take a rocket science, a high IQ, a degree, or any of that bullshit, right? You can just go, oh, yep, which one does that look like, honey? You're right, we're closer to a lion. I mean, seriously. But I'm always fascinated by it, and I don't know if that fascination will end as long as people think that you can be vegan and healthy, because before supplementation, vegans didn't live long, right? That Russian gal, she was, 39, raw vegan, and killed herself of malnutrition. Sad. What a waste of life. Anyways, so again, here's some books I recommend. If you're wanting to gain more knowledge, these people are far more articulate than myself. I would love to help teach you and get you to learn how to have an animal-based lifestyle. So, hit me up if you're interested in that. But Toxic Superfoods, Why Vegans Have Smaller Brains, and The Great Plant-Based Con. So I recommend those books. They're a good read. They are on Audible. And with that, I wish you a blessed day.